Let's go over 3 takeaways from the governor's State of the State on Tuesday. There's a lot to get to, but let's just pare it down to 3 for now. Universal child care, that's the big one. One of the questions is, how is the state going to pay for it? Of course, we know it's going to start in New York City, be expanded statewide in the coming years. Governor Hochul says the money's in the budget right now, but how will things look moving forward? That's one of the big questions that we're still asking. Another one involves infrastructure. I've spoken with some in the child care sector. They say that's not as much of an issue from their standpoint right now, the way this is being rolled out. The other question is workforce. That is a concern for some. Are there enough people to facilitate opening up seats in potential care centers throughout the state? Number 2, Zohran Mamdani spoke to the media afterwards, addressing the governor's State of the State, and he had a lot of great things to say. He also had some notable things to say, talking about the past acrimony and animosity between the governor and the mayor of New York City in the past. But he also says they want to put forth a new course of cooperation moving forward. But he was also asked in that press conference about the governor just talking about universal child care and not necessarily taxing the rich, which is what he ran on. And it was interesting, he said that he ran on an agenda supported by more than 1 million New Yorkers who voted for this to indeed tax the ultra wealthy in New York City. So we'll see a little bit more of what that all looks like when he goes to the Tin Cup Day, as they call it, over in February, of what he actually asked for out of Albany when it comes to that, and how that impacts his relationship with the governor. Finally, immigration, the governor talking about ICE agents and holding them more accountable to the New York Civil Rights Act. New York for all has been the big question here, and that's something that would prohibit law enforcement municipalities from working with ICE. The governor with a slight reference to it, but from what I understand, it doesn't seem like she's going all the way for New York for all at this time, but we'll see what happens as the budget comes out next week and as the legislative session goes moving forward. Hi everyone, wanted to go over one of the governor's State of the State proposals that's getting a lot of traction online right now. That's regarding intelligent speed assistance systems. That's the slow super speeders is what it's called in the State of the State book. It's for drivers with a documented pattern of speeding, would put a court order that would put a device in someone's vehicle to stop them from going too far over the speed limit, whether that would be 1 mile per hour, 3, 5, 10, what have you, and using GPS and other technology to determine the posted speed limit and then adjusting it from there. And this would be for whatever car, whenever someone would be driving, they would have to have this in there if they are a habitual super speeder. I'm told this is a similar protocol to when someone might get a DUI and then a court mandates them to have an ignition lock. So all the similar things there would apply to this. I spoke with the state Senate sponsor, Andrew Gennardis, a Democrat from Brooklyn, about this yesterday. One question I did ask him about an emergency. If someone has to go faster to avoid something in the road or someone coming up behind them, he said there would be an emergency override function. A certain amount of times someone could use it to be able to do that in an emergency at that. So a lot of questions about this as we learn more about what the governor's language is going to look like. But the Gennardis bill is in there, and I had a long conversation with about this. A lot of more questions on that. So make sure to go to CBS 6 Albany's YouTube page. I'll have that full talk with him on there now.
Come on, baby, grab this thing.
Come on.
Come on. They have to get him, Carol. They have to get him.
Come on, buddy.
Right, come on, grab
Come
it,
on.
bud. Get it. Grab it, bud. Grab it.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on. You okay?
Oh my God, thank you so much.
You good? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Come on,
Rick,
buddy.
come here. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, you guys. Thank you so much. Come here, baby. Come here.
When it came to the trial, obviously after the fact, how did you feel about how the legal process played out and has played out?
The DA, Bill Fitzpatrick, he since day one, he's been phenomenal with helping me navigate, with giving me information, with making sure I'm okay with how the whole process goes along. So I can say like I am okay with how everything turned out. You know, in the eyes of the justice, I feel as me and our family, we got justice for the people that hurt my father.
How has your view of the video, you mentioned seeing it, and that obviously is a startling image for anyone, let alone yourself, that has your understanding of it changed at all? Did the way you looked at you at all over the course of seeing it? I know it's a tough thing to
I
think about.
mean, I will say every time I see the video, no, I don't have a different mindset of it. When I see it, it's disgusting to me. I have a harder time watching it now actually than it was in the beginning, and it's probably because it seemed like a cultural thing. Like it seemed like a regular day in the office for those personal individual people, and it just leaves me with disgust in my heart and in my mind.
A New York judge today throwing out the congressional district lines of New York's 11th district. That's Staten Island, parts of Brooklyn, right now occupied and represented by Nicole Maliotakis. She's a Republican, the only GOP member to hold a seat in all of New York City's districts. This was a lawsuit filed back in October saying Black and Latino Staten Islanders didn't have the same opportunity to elect someone of their choice and influence elections there. If we go back to the map here, right now it is parts of Brooklyn, but potentially looking at parts of Manhattan now to dig into New York 12, which would change the electorate a little bit. And as we look at this now in the grand scheme of things, and we look at redistricting across the country, whether that's Texas, California, Maryland, in the middle of the country too, we've seen this jockeying when it comes to Democrats and Republicans to try and see if they can win back power, if that when it comes to the Democrats or the Republicans keeping power in the House of Representatives. So this could be a domino in all of that at the end of the day. The questions is what's going to happen next? The Republicans already pushing back. They're going to appeal. Ed Cox, the GOP chair, saying this was a partisan judge, a partisan attorney. It's not going to hold up. The other question would also be this independent redistricting commission aspect of this. That's where it was sent by Judge Perlman today. And they have to have a map by February 6th. The question is what happens after that. If they get to a map, will the judge just keep that map? Will it be sent to the legislature for a vote as it has in the past? And then when the Democrats decided they didn't like that, they wrote their own map. So there's a lot of questions. And will they even come up with a map? It's 5-5 Democrats and Republicans on the IRC. So what happens if they come to a stalemate? So yes, this is a tight timeline with petitions going out at the end of February. What that all will look like and will that be a win for Democrats is soon to be and to be determined at this time too.